Welcome to Bond SEX. This is week 51, December 19th through December 23rd. This is Lance, the Bargain Stock Bounty Hunter, back at you again with another great plays of the week. Getting right down to the end of the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty good year, and it's going to get even more interesting next year, in my thoughts and opinions. Let me start off with a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I advising anyone to spend their money. This is only for educational purposes and only my opinion. Any money spent is at the individual's own discretion and not due to any information from me. Let me get started with the market, kind of show you all where we are going. It's like this week. And so zooming in 1 year, 1 day, looking at last week, and we saw a drastic pullback last week. I expected somewhat of a pullback. We got a major pullback with the news from last week, with the Fed meeting and with the CPI report. Actually, the CPI report actually sparked the market up, and then we saw a pullback, drastic pullback that same day, and then continue fall throughout that week. And so we see the MACD on a strong pullback down. See the momentum's down as well. And it's actually right where we expect it to be, where I expect it to be months ago. And so we're right in zone, right where, so there's no surprises there. And so we're actually seeing some support potentially coming in this week. I expect by Friday, the NASDAQ would be anywhere between 10,954 to around 11,142. So maybe a little bit of a pullback from where it is coming in this week. Maybe a battle back to try to get the market back in balance as it's starting to come out of balance at this point. So no surprises, but we see definitely a pullback last week, and we'll see from some of that manipulation, we may see some of that coverage come in the NASDAQ this week. That's my call out for the NASDAQ. Looking at the New York Stock Exchange, again, the New York Stock Exchange had been overextended, so we expected a lot of this as well coming into the week. Definitely seeing the same thing, more so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pulling right back into zone where I expected to be months ago. Definitely see a strong pullback on the MACD with some of the momentum coming down. I expect potentially by Friday, we see a little bit of a battle back to try to keep it in this zone coming into the close of the year. Somewhere around the 15,041 to around 15,200, somewhere around that range I expect to be by Friday. I expect to see a lot of volatility in the market this week due to some of the cheap prices that are starting to come in to some really good stocks. So let's start off with plays of the week. And so I've got Wayfair coming in this week, a long-term hold, and actually called that one out last week. So moving pretty good last week, actually comes in at a strong trend of a 4 this week. 83 cents on sale. So still on sale, pretty good price points to come in and grab some Wayfair. $37.73 is a true value for Wayfair this week. And just going into the charts, we'll really go in with Wayfair looking at last week. I'm going really at the same price point I came in last week. It didn't quite fall to $32.65 for me. It did come down to true value and touch off on it multiple times throughout last week. So this is my true value line on the red. And so it's pulled back, actually came right into where I expected to be Friday, but it did not come down enough. Didn't get cheap enough for me to buy it. I do think this week, I think 32.65 may be a better shot. See the MACD and the momentum starting to pull down. This one is technically bullish, right? So this one is one of those stocks that are still bullish throughout these last few crazy weeks. And so actually, this one went pretty much bullish. Looks like back in this point of 1st of December. So it went bullish at that point. It could be closing and pulling back and being more flat in the next couple of weeks, but definitely this is a great price point for Wayfair. Can't go wrong here. It is in a balanced wave count, so it could go +1 or -1 in the next month. But I do think at this point, this is a great price point. So 32.65 is my call out for Wayfair this week. Next one, plays of the week. I've got Golden Ocean. So Golden Ocean comes in at a trend of a 2, slight trend up, 3 cents over price, true value of $8.78. And so let's look at Golden Ocean. So real quick, Golden Ocean. And analysis here. It's not pulling up for me, but Golden Ocean is a sea transport company. And so let's look at them on a 1 year, 1 day. I haven't called out Golden Ocean before. So looking at 1 year, 1 day, you see Golden Ocean hit a high of $16.46 in June. And so this one has been pretty well over the what I call a cake support lines here. It was well over that in the middle of the year. You see a lot of the work underneath, or the price action underneath, happening early parts of the year. You'll see it pop above the SMA, pretty much stay there, and then really fall below. So this one's been really balanced out pretty well for the majority of the year. And we see it hit a low of 724 in October. And we think that this one's going to pull back up and again attack this SMA again, as it did at the early part of the year. So we see this really replicating or mirroring exactly what's probably going to happen in the next few months. This one is a dividend stock. We see it pays 35 cents per share. So a really good stock. Don't know a whole lot about it. Just start scanning it probably the last 3 or 4 months. I think there's some great price points coming in on this one. Excuse my raspy voice this morning. But 52 cents on the earnings last earnings call. So pretty good earnings call. And we see since the low of 724, we see this one's been steadily climbing. And I think $8.29 this week is a great price point. This one is bullish as well. This one has actually, this one was in divergence. So you see this moving down, the price moving up. And so the momentum is moving down, price moving up. And this has just converged as of last week. So this is freshly bullish. And so it's a great opportunity to get in at these prices here. I do think it will pull back some, at least 829, show support here on the progressive line I've got. And I think by Friday, anywhere between 844 to 887 is my expectations for Golden Ocean this week. So that should get us anywhere between, by Friday, anywhere between 2 and 6.5%. So that's my call out for Golden Ocean this week. Next on the list, Intuit comes in flat this week, $19.99 on sale, and $404.97 is the true value. So Intuit is the company that they own QuickBooks, they own they also own Credit Karma, and they also own TurboTax. So surely everyone has heard of one or two of these companies. TurboTax, Credit Karma, and QuickBooks are all widely known. So coming into this week, let's look at this one on a 1 year, 1 day first. Haven't called this one out before. So this one's been a high of $658.84. So that was back in December of last year. And it's lost since then, came down and to a low of $339. $339.36. So, and that was in June. So it lost 48% of its value in 6 months. And since then, it has gained and topped out at 487 and gained 43% since that point. So we see it attacked the SMA, and we see it actually pretty much resist the SMA all the way up until this week. So doesn't move or respect the cake value very much, or cake range very much. So you can't really use that to get a great feel for where the price wants to be on this stock. But what I like to see here is, so it resists the SMA here, resists here, resists here, resists here. See another resistance early December. And what do we see here? We see a breakthrough, right, on manipulation, as we expect, to pull the price above the SMA. But also we see a strong pullback. So a lot of manipulation in the stock here lately, and think there's a great opportunity to catch this one at 377.56, and by Friday on a short-term hold, 389.84 at 5%, or 403.97 at 7.25%. So I think this is a great manipulation, I guess play on the manipulation here. We see the very same thing happen back here in October. Strong pullback on the manipulation. Then we see it return and cover almost, I would say, about 75% of that manipulation it covered. So I expect it to come back and cover the same manipulation. And the other thing I like is because it busts above the SMA, which is a great sign. It didn't resist it as it has the last few months. So that's my call out for Intuit this week. Also a dividend stock as well, if you see. So next on the list is Cloudflare. Called this one out earlier in the year, I think a couple times. So this one coming in at a flat trend, $1.18 on sale, true value of $48.72. So let's look at Cloudflare. I think Cloudflare was one, it's a pretty good timely stock, when I can remember. So won't go back into all the whole year, but called this one out back in August, looks like, and see what it did in August. It came down to my price point at $46.49, and actually, did it come down to Daz's price point as well? Looks like no, got pretty close though. It didn't meet my expectation by that Friday, but from this point to the next couple of weeks, we see it hit a high of $80.10 at 72%. And since then, it definitely fell from there. But definitely great opportunity in this one. Hit a lot of volume here. This was right after I called it out right before earnings call, and actually it did a pretty good job on its earnings. And so I just had another earnings call in November, and it did even better than last time. Didn't see this much of an explosion from the last earnings, but we did see it hit a low of 37.37 and turn around in just a few days, 5 days exactly, 49.5%. So this one can really take off if we can time this one just right. This one is going into convergence. So this one's in divergence, going into convergence just slightly, not a huge convergence divergence change, but just enough. This one is technically bullish. The teal is above the green, green's above the red, red above the blue. So it's slightly bullish. But I do think this one can come down to 44, 43 this week. And by Friday, I don't expect it to explode too much by Friday, but 46.12 to about 49.76. So anywhere between 4 and 10% by Friday, but definitely like where this one is in relationship to the SMA. So I like how this one's coming back to attack the SMA. And when it attacks the SMA, we expect it to do what? We expect it to take off. And so, so that's one to watch out for and one to look forward to in the next year. So that's my call out for Cloudflare. It's 44.43 this week. Next on the list is RocketLab. Actually, last on the list this week is RocketLab. -2 trend, so it's in a downward trend. So I don't particularly like to call out stocks on a downward trend, but saw something interesting in this one this week. 11 cents on sale at $4.18 true value. So it is in the neighborhood of a penny stock price point. I don't think fundamentally it is a penny stock. So looking at RocketLab, I've called this one out, I believe once or twice already this year. Once already this year. And so I called it out back in September. It did come down to my price point actually on that Thursday, and then it just plummeted after that. And so since then, it has showed some support somewhere around the 389, 390 range. And we see it take off from October 12th, hitting support at 388, turn around in about 30 days, 47% at $5.71. So not a bad hold for this one. It's definitely back down again, and great price points coming in. Actually see showing resistance against the green, and then blew past the green, showed resistance against the red, blown past this one, hopefully, and show resistance against the blue, hopefully this week or sometime in the near future. Against real close to wanting to break through this SMA. We saw it resist the SMA back in November. And so I think in the next couple months, going into March, this one should definitely break out of this SMA and be well above it. So at 390, it's great price points. I think we can get in at 390 this week. And then by Friday, we're looking at about 409 to about 435, so anywhere about 10 to 5% by Friday. So I like what I'm seeing with the MACD. The momentum's right at the midpoint here. And so definitely a lot of room for this one to grow. So even though it's in a -2 trend, I think this one can definitely break out here in the next couple months. And so at 390, definitely a good hold for this one. So that's my call outs for the week of week 51. Let's do some rapid fire, like it, love it, lose it this week. And so let's start with, let's do 3. Let's do AT&T. AT&T comes in a -4 trend at $18.76 true value. Let's look at AT&T and do a quick like it, love it, lose it on this one. So this is off the cusp, no plans here, just looking at what I can see. So definitely don't like this one. So I would say definitely lose this price. MACD's open up on definitely a bad downturn. Momentum's downturning. Just bust through the SMA. Everything's moving in a horrible direction. This one is manipulated back from October 20th. So we see 117 million shares trading at $16.22. That is highly manipulated. And so I'll expect that price to come back and be covered on the downside. So this is basically racing back down to cover this coverage, this manipulation day here. And so yeah, this is definitely a lose price. I would not buy AT&T at the current price at $18.49. Let's look at a couple more. Let's see. Let's do Let's do a UPS. UPS comes in flat at $3.72 on sale, $181.92. It is below the cake range, as you can see here. So let's look at UPS and see if there's, never called out UPS. I don't even know if I've ever looked at their stock. Seriously. I would say, looking at it real quick, I don't like what I'm seeing here. Going back to November, and the low is a little sketchy. Now, it doesn't seem like manipulation here. It seems very natural. This movement from here to here. This is manipulation. This one's been covered. I don't like the MACD. I don't like the momentum. Look at the overall chart from here. Has tried to bust through the SMA a couple of times with not much results or much success. I would say I would lose this price as well. Now, and I'm saying that because it doesn't seem like it's highly manipulated. I don't like the action here. I don't like how I'm seeing it not pull above the and support on the SMA. So they're showing no support, more resistance on the SMA. Looks like your support is going to be more so. Just real quick analysis. I'll show you how my brain thinks here. So let's say in this week, 172 seems more probable, more like a better price. 178 is definitely overpriced. I would lose the current price on UPS this week. See if I can at least get a like it or a love it. See what else we'll look at real quick. One more. Let's look at, so Boeing's been really moving pretty strong. Let's look at, let's not look at Boeing though. Let's look at Oracle. Oracle comes in at a nice trend of a $2 on sale at 81.59. Another one I've never really looked at. Let's see what the prices look like for Oracle Corporation. Another one I would say no to on, or say lose. Definitely would rather see this come down and support on the SMA. So definitely would not buy it at 79.58. I like it better at 73.89 on the SMA. Support on the SMA. But there is some manipulation of 17 million shares when it normally trades around, it's like around 5 or 6 million. So we see 17 million shares uncovered manipulation at 67.38. So yeah, I would definitely wait on Oracle at this point. So anyway, that's my call outs for week 51. We're getting close again. We got one more week left after this week and close out of the year. And so thank you all for joining me this year, watching and listening to my videos and your support. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe. If you know of anyone who likes technical analysis or wants to any help I'm trying to figure out how to gauge or judge if there's a good buy in a certain stock, please have them watch my channel. And again, appreciate you joining me and appreciate the love this year. And have a good week trading. Thank you.